Good morning, Rap Freaks. Lexi out here, and it's a preview day. We have a doubleheader once again. Another chance for a double W as the Toronto Raptors host the Golden State Warriors, and also the Raptors 905 are on the road in Oklahoma City to play the Oklahoma City Blue today. So there's two games tonight, and once again, they're happening right around the same time, I believe. Maybe the Oklahoma City game's just a little bit later because it's in Oklahoma time. But yeah, double duty again tonight. No rest for the Raptor Freaks because there is two games tonight. And of course, the Warriors come to Toronto for the only time they come all season. And this is an opportunity for the Raptors to try and get a win when they haven't been getting wins very much against a 500 team. The Pistons and the Warriors, same thing when we played them on Saturday. And what we're doing today, both teams are 500 exactly. The Warriors are 500 team right now also. So that's pretty interesting to me. I think that we matched up pretty well with the Pistons, and we just didn't do things right in the end with making free throws to end up winning the game on Saturday. But that condones or is conducive to us maybe possibly winning today at home against the Golden State Warriors. And the Golden State Warriors have not won very well recently. In fact, in their last 15 games, they're 5-10. So they're winning 1 out of 3 games right now. So they're very gettable. They're very, very gettable. The Warriors came into the season kicking butt and really being back in the top of kind of like talking about the West and things like that. But they've kind of leveled out, and they're more 500 team at this point. Exactly. So we have to realize that, guys. You know, the Warriors are better this year in some ways than they have been in the last year, but they're still, they're not as good as you think they are. They don't have the same mystique as they used to have. Seriously, they're not the same. In fact, I seen an article this morning on ESPN, and first thing I looked at on Draymond Green and how Draymond Green is a kinder, softer, gentler Draymond Green. That, you know, he did have a change in the last year since his indefinite suspension last season for really doing a bunch of stuff bad, like punching Nurkic and doing other stuff. You know, the league had enough of him. And well, he knew at that time his career was in trouble if he didn't do things better. So they're trying to publicize Draymond as being a kinder, gentler Draymond Green. And it's interesting because we saw him on Dinners with DeMar, and he came on that show and he said, and they may have filmed this before some things happened. He came on the show and he said, I will never go to therapy because I don't want therapy to take the edge that I have and I play with away from me in the NBA. Well, and that was the interesting thing. He also went on with DeMar about how growing up in Saginaw, you just don't go seeking out like help, and that if you, as a black man, you're not supposed to need help or something like that, being macho and stuff. So it's something that he didn't come easily to is therapy, but they forced him to go. They forced him to go last season when he did the really egregious stuff. And the Warriors specifically, and Adam Silver in the NBA, set up a counseling thing where he'd have to sit in and do these sessions with some of the ownership and high-ranking members of the Warriors organization, Rich Paul and Adam Silver, all there. And they would have to sit and talk about how he's feeling and what he's going through. So Draymond wasn't just doing like a therapy sessions with just like a doctor, a singular doctor. He was sitting in these Skype rooms, Zoom rooms, with like 7 or 8 people talking about his feelings and who he was. And, you know, at first he was fighting it, but over time he started to actually make it a confessional, and he started trying to get some breakthroughs. Now they're saying he's a kinder, gentler Draymond Green, but he still has those tendencies possibly for violence. The one thing that they're saying that he has changed is that he stops now. Like he has a line where he doesn't try and cross anymore. And the real reason why he's doing this, other than worrying about losing his $1 million NBA contract and career, is his children. That he realized at some point something clicked in his head. It's like, oh crap, my kids are seeing my behavior, and I don't need to be like this anymore. So he's doing it for his very young children to be a better example for them. That's the main reason why he's doing it. Not because it's right, not because he could hurt someone. No, he's doing it because he's worried about how he comes off to his children. So that's kind of a check-in with Draymond Green, who's been getting check-ins. And apparently he didn't have to do these check-ins anymore with this panel, but he's enjoying it. So they continue to do them from every few months or so, even right now. So yeah, it's a weird article on ESPN. In some ways, it's a propaganda piece just to talk up Draymond's image and say that he has changed, and people shouldn't be mad at him for being a vicious, violent person in the NBA. He's changed. He's a nice guy. All right, let's do the injury report. Seriously. All right, here we go. Golden State Warriors have Draymond Green on the Warriors injury list. Steve Kerr said yesterday that Draymond Green was able to practice and is expected to play in Monday's matchup versus the Raptors today. Jonathan Kuminga, though, is out. He will be reevaluated in 3 weeks for right ankle sprain that he suffered during the Warriors' win over the Grizzlies. Brandon Podziemski has started running at full speed, but he isn't near return. So he is out due to an abdominal strain. And Gary Payton II is ruled out for the game today. It's his calf, and that's according to Blake Murphy. Yeah, so there you go. There were injuries on the Warriors side of things, but nothing on the Raptors side. We have a clean injury record right now. So who's the Warriors right now? We haven't seen them yet this year. This will be the first time we play the Golden State Warriors. We have not gone to Golden State yet. So we're going to play them for the first time this season right now. Stephon Curry, of course, will return to the Greater Toronto area, a place where he grew up as a middle school kid with his father, Dell, playing for the Raptors in the early 2000s. Dennis Schroeder, the newly acquired Dennis Schroeder, is in the backcourt with Steph. It's a very interesting look. I want to see how this looks against us. The two very, very good MVP level candidate FIBA point guards for their respective countries, the USA and Germany, sharing a backcourt now. And we have to see the fit with old Dennis. Of course, I'm a big Dennis fan, so I will enjoy seeing him playing against us tonight. Hopefully he doesn't play well and we beat him. That's what I want. Andrew Wiggins, of course, the Maple Jordan, our guy from here in Vaughan, is going to be playing tonight, coming home. So we'll see Andrew out there. Trace Jackson Davis, NBA legacy player. His father was Dale Davis. And he'll be starting at center most likely. They've also got Buddy Hield on that team from Indiana that they got to kind of replace Klay Thompson, who left in the offseason. Moses Moody is on this team still. Kyle Anderson. So they actually have the Chinese star, Lee Kyer. So he's on this team now. I forgot that he had switched to Golden State from his former team. Kevon Looney is still on the team, but he's buried in the rotation. He's not playing as much these days, but he'll probably play tonight, especially if Draymond's not going to play tonight, but he should play. Let's see. Quentin Post, Pat Spencer, Lindy Waters III, and Guy Santos round out the Warriors kind of playing rotation right now. I don't even know if some of those guys are playing, the ones I just named. But yeah, the Warriors don't have Klay anymore. And in some ways, they're not as star-studded anymore just because Klay's gone. And it's just not the same Warriors as like the championship Warriors around Kevin Durant and all that kind of stuff. It's just not the same feel. It's just not the same winning clip. Like I said, they're 5-10 in their last 15, and they're 500 record right now. So they're very ripe for the picking. We'll have to see how it goes down. I also, looking at this and reading these names, I realized they're undersized. That they're an undersized team. They don't have very many bigs. So we'll have to see how that matches up with us. We've been very undersized ourselves in matchup overall with teams that we've been playing recently. And, that may be a really good thing that we can see more eye to eye with the Warriors tonight. That may be actually very helpful to us. And in some ways, easier for us to chase Steph around because we have people like Shed and Mitchell and Quickly. So that should be interesting. Yeah, as I said, Toronto has no injuries listed on their injury report right now. Ochai Agbaji is healthy. Davion Mitchell is healthy. All these guys are healthy. We have the entire Raptors roster available. In fact, we've recalled a couple of guys from the 905 back to the main roster to be available tonight. I think that Blake said that Jonathan is with the Raptors today, I believe, is what he said. Let me just make sure, because he does have stuff that he's just throwing up every once in a while about updates on who gets directed from where. He does actually. I thought I saw a tweet on this, but he didn't. I don't see it now. There's no confirmed news about what's happening with 905 players. I think Jamison Battle's most likely in Oklahoma City. The two ways are probably most likely in Oklahoma City. Now, Eugene Omoruyi and Jonathan Mobo, I believe, are in Toronto for Golden State, though. I think that's what they did. I think that they sent Battle and Shamshay and Lawson to Oklahoma City. The two ways went to Oklahoma City, and the Mobo and Omoruyi, who's on the 10-day, are going to be in Toronto to play against the Warriors. I believe that's what I heard through the grapevine that is going to happen, just so y'all know. All right, let's see. The referee report, undefeated, maybe my best segment that I do on this entire channel out of everything. Ref report, undefeated. You know, not a lot of place you're going to get a ref report. We have a very attractive ref crew tonight. First, I'll do the G League ref crew, which is not as attractive. Maybe is. I don't know. I should go look at all their pictures. But I know that Raptors ref crew for the game against Golden State, very attractive ref crew. Raptors 905 at Oklahoma City Blue is the game tonight. And the Oklahoma City Blue, of course, will feature Brendan Carlson, who was re-signed with them. And he's likely to play against us today, actually. So it's very likely we'll see Brendan Carlson against the Raptors 905 today. The crew chief is NBA ref Robert Hussey. He will be reffing as the crew chief for the 905 game. And AJ Aganelli is the referee. And Leah Laney is the umpire. That's your ref crew for the 905 at Oklahoma City Blue tonight at around 7 o'clock. I believe 7 o'clock Central, but I'm not totally sure. You know, we'll have to find that out. All right, the crew chief for the Raptors game tonight is Zach Zarba, number 15 out of New York, 22nd season. He likes to show The Wire. His favorite movie is The Godfather. He eats shrimp oranganata. His favorite app is Twitter, and he most like to visit Italy, and his hidden talent is cooking. Yeah. Before joining the NBA, Zach Zarba officiated in the NBA G League for 2 years, where he worked the finals. He also refereed 1 year in the CBA and 2 years in the International Basketball League. I think that these refs are probably like, man, don't put the CBA stuff on there. That makes me sound old. At the point that's going to start happening with these referees, it probably already is happening, where the referees and their referee profiles, it says Continental Basketball Association. They're like, man, when people see that, they're going to know I'm old. This is funny. It's funny. All right. Yeah. Zach is probably, he's the best ref for the Raptors today, but he still favors the Warriors. He has the highest winning percentage of the three refs. It's 50%. We win half of our games exactly with Zach Zarba. We've had him ref one game this season, and it was a loss. And the Warriors win 57% of their games. So 50 to 57 is the split for the Warriors with crew chief Zach Zarba tonight. Yeah. All right, let's keep going. The second ref is not related to the German point guard on the Warriors. It is not Jenna Schroeder. It's Jenna Schroeder. And 6th season out of Flint, Michigan, number 20. Her favorite TV show is 30 Rock. Sorry. She likes Dirty Dancing to watch as a movie. She listens to Bob Seger. She most like to visit Australia. And she wants to see Billy Joel, Eric Clapton, and the Rolling Stones all in concert together. That would be awesome. I don't think that's going to happen. Jenna Schroeder officiated 3 seasons in the NBA G League and 2 seasons in the WNBA. She has 7 years of collegiate officiating experience, working games in the ACC, American, Atlantic 10, and Big East conferences. Yeah, as I said, Jenna has been around the team a bit already. She's reffed quite a few games this year for the Raptors. 3 losses. 3 losses. She's refereed 3 losses for the Raptors already this year. When she's coming for her 4th game of the season, hopefully this one will be a win. Our win percentage with Jenna historically throughout her entire NBA career is 38%. We win 38% of our games, and the Warriors win 46% of their games. So 38 to 46, the split for the Warriors with Jenna Schroeder, not Schroeder, Dennis Schroeder, Jenna Schroeder. Yeah, we got Schroeder and Schroeder. Schroeder against us and Schroeder maybe against us too. I don't know. Hopefully not. The third ref is Sheree Mitchell. Sheree Mitchell out of Provo, Utah, number 98 in her 2nd season. Sheree, she likes to watch Law & Order SVU. She likes the movie Pretty Woman. She listens to Beyonce. Her favorite book is Conversations with God. Her favorite meal is Caesar salad. Her favorite app is ESPN and also Spotify. She most like to visit Africa. Her bucket list is to get her PhD. And her hidden talent is breakdancing. Yeah, Sheree officiated 5 seasons in the NBA G League, where she refereed playoff games 3 years and was a finals alternate. She officiated 2 seasons in the WNBA, including 1 year of playoff assignments. Yeah, Sheree is one of the younger refs that's only been refereeing full-time 2 years, and she's the worst ref for the Raptors today. But I will say this. We've had 1 game refereed by her this year, and it was a win, and it was the only win we've ever gotten with her as a ref. So our win percentage is 33%. So that means she's only reffed us 3 times. And we won 1 out of the 3 times. It's basically what it says here. Isn't that right? Let me look at it, the stats right here. Yeah, we're 1-2 in 3 games with her. So that's the split for her. And meanwhile, with the Warriors, they've won 3 out of 4, 75%. So it's a 33 to 75 split. We're 1-2, and the Warriors are 3-1 in the records for the third ref, Sheree Mitchell. So there's your ref report. All 3 refs favor the Warriors statistically from over many years and some few years. So yeah, Zach Zarba, Jenna Schroeder, and Sheree Mitchell is the ref crew. There you go. There's a ref report. Yeah, I don't know. This crew could be all kinds of different ways. Hopefully we'll get some home cooking. Hopefully we'll get some home calls. Detroit was getting them on Saturday. Why can't we get some? Y'all need to give RJ free throws, NBA refs. You guys got to stop jerking people around and start giving RJ free throws. I'm sick of this shit. Give RJ free throws, NBA refs. Why are you doing this to him? I want to know the truth. Why are you doing this to RJ? To him specifically. And it is RJ specifically that is getting screwed out of a lot of free throws this year. Holy crap, he is. Holy crap, he is. All right, let's see what's going on with y'all in the chat. I got my classic card box. That's right. We got Instagram stories. We got stuff to talk about still in the preview for today. That's right. Bryce Lawson is first in the chat today from the Kentucky state of the United States. Good morning, Lex and Raptor Freaks. Lex, I would like to know your thoughts on Zeke Naji. Also, if these rumors are true, I wouldn't want Boucher to go anywhere else but the Nuggets. That's such a good fit. Let's go, Raptors. Okay. Zeke Naji, like the player in the NBA, I don't know anything about what's going on with him. Let me go look at it. What is the rumors about him? I don't see anything. Yeah, I don't know what your rumors are. Are you saying, oh, okay, let me get it. You got to spell it out for me, Blake. I mean, Bryce, I'm an idiot in the morning sometimes, and I don't know exactly what you're saying. I thought you meant there was bad rumors about him. You're saying there's rumors about him getting traded to Toronto is what you're saying. Yeah, you got to spell it out for me, Bryce. I'm stupid, and you got to baby me. I thought you meant there's some rumors that he did something wrong and he got in trouble. Okay, so I guess you're inferring here is that you've heard a trade rumor that there may be a trade Zeke Naji for Chris Boucher. So you made me have to connect the dots here. Too much brain work for Lex in the morning. I don't know. I mean, I think that's a lateral trade. I don't know. I don't think that that's actually an upgrade too much. I think Chris, for culture and longtime fit and, bonds and time spent with people already, is worth more than Zeke Naji. Because honestly, I mean, he's a bigger player and he may help us in certain ways defensively and rebounding, but for culture, I don't know. This is a downgrade, is what I'd say. This is a downgrade. So you're saying that it's you wouldn't want Boucher to go anywhere else, but the Denver? I don't want him to go anywhere. I just don't like talking about this kind of stuff, especially with champions and also guys that have been on our team for 6 years. I know it's inevitable. We went through this with Siakam, went through this with other people. I said I don't want them to leave, and then they possibly leave. I don't want Chris to leave, and I don't want to talk about him and Zeke Naji. He's saying Zeke was apparently a surprise pick at 22 in the 2020 draft. Avery Johnson claimed he was 3 or 4 years away from what he had in the Nuggets going. He hasn't panned out for them, but imagine him with Darko. Now, see, what you're describing right now is something that Masai's very much all about right now, is noticing talents on other teams that are not getting the opportunity and they could be better, and claiming them and getting them in and seeing if we can do better with them as far as development and getting them going, that kind of stuff. I mean, I like those kind of things. Emmanuel's like that. Seriously, Emmanuel was somebody that the Raptors noticed on another team that he couldn't grow into a spot, and they trade targeted him, and it's worked out really well. So in some ways, maybe there is something with Zeke Naji that could be expanded and used here in Toronto. I don't know, man. In some ways, I don't like this deal. I don't like this deal. I think it's my initial impulse of what I said. It's not an upgrade. It's like a lateral move between Chris and Naji. Let's see. Trevor's here. Trevor's saying power isn't in what happens. It's to you. It's how you decide to respond. Most people just react. Butler? Like Jimmy, they go and get their hair done all crazy. I'm going to react Butler, and I'm going to go get my hair all poofed up in a wave that's green. Yeah, I'm acting Butler. I don't know what you mean exactly, Trevor. That last word is like just react Butler. I don't know what that means. I'll take what I do understand in your statement here. Power isn't what happens to you. It's how you decide to respond. That is true. That is true. Power is all in response. And if you give them the response that they wanted, well, you lost. And some people are tempting you or trying to bait you into losing your temper or getting upset or, not keeping yourself together. Yeah, that's true. You lose your power when they can manipulate you in that way. So sometimes the most powerful response is no response and just keeping your energy clean and going forward and just saying, yeah, I don't need to deal with this. This is stupid, and I'm not even going to acknowledge it. There you go. Words of wisdom. Thank you, Trevor J, for your words of wisdom, and thank you for being the commissioner of fun on this channel. Let's go. Trevor's saying Scotty needs to show more force and the leader he can be by taking over the game every single night. The rock should be in his hands. 2 close games. He's getting the big money to do this. Yeah. I mean, I totally agree with that. This is a topic we've been talking about a lot lately. Scotty, you're that dude. I mean, he's not making the most money on the team, though. He's only making $10 million this year on his rookie contract, Trevor. So he's like, that Scotty makes like maybe the 7th most out of everybody on the Raptors. Did you know that, Trevor? That he's on rookie contract still. His huge money that he just signed in his extension, that stuff doesn't hit until this summer coming up. So he's still on a low-paid rookie scale. $10 million this year. He makes $10 million this year. He makes less than Chris. He makes less than Kelly. He makes less than a lot of people on the team. You'd be shocked that Scotty makes less than. So we can't say he makes the big money. The big money is Emmanuel. He's number 1 on the list. He makes the most on our team this season. RJ's 2nd. Bruce Brown is 3rd. So that's the top 3 money men on our team right there. Scotty's not in the top 3. Let's see. Trevor's saying that Doug Christie, since taking over for the Sacramento Kings, won 7 straight games. And Indiana ended Cleveland's winning streak. Thank you, Siakam. Thank you, Pascal and Indiana, for being badasses, for beating a division rival, a hated division rival for many, many years. The Cleveland and Indiana, they've played against each other as franchises for a long, long, long time. Central Division. Yeah, that's fantastic. I love hearing that. Cleveland had a great accomplishment of 2 very long win streaks this season. And well, this latest one is over because Siakam and them said it's over. That's right. I love that. I love that. That's good news. Yeah, that's interesting. So maybe Mike Brown was an issue, seeing as the Kings have gotten their ship righted under Doug Christie, former Raptor. Yeah, I'd say this. People that think Mike Brown's just hot shit, well, look at this change. Where Mike Brown is out and Doug Christie is having success in his absence being gone. So maybe Mike Brown was part of the problem. Doug Christie, let's go, Pepperdine. Yeah. Smooth saying, can't see the Nuggets parting with Najee. He's got 3 years left on his contract, I think. But if any team would get the very best out of Chris Boucher, it would be Denver. You think that they get the best out of him? Maybe. Because of his play style fits with what they've got on their team already. Because in some ways, Joker is just a certain kind of player with size like that. There can be kind of guys like Chris that are hanging around doing stuff like maybe even Bruce Brown could play on that team. Yes. Bryce is saying, correct. His contract ends in 27-28. I don't know, guys. I got to go watch more Najee again. I get him confused with different people because I know there's Najee, somebody else, like his first name is Najee. So I got to figure out who this exact guy is because I know he's in the deep rotation for Denver, and he's not clicking in my head for some reason. He's like a bigger guy. I know he's stronger and more of a rebounder than Chris. Not more of a rebounder, but more of a physical, stronger rebounder. Chris is a quick rebounder. He's a slinky rebounder, a long rebounder. He gets in there and gets the ball over people's heads, not by out muscling them. Let's see. Smooth saying Denver is the one team out west I really enjoy, man. Just something about them. I have no beef with them. Yeah, they're an interesting team. We like rooting for Murray. And yeah, Russell's on that team this year, which is weird. He's interesting because Russell's been in so many different stops over the years in the NBA, and he never has seemed happy. Anywhere he's ever been, I don't think I've ever felt like Russell Westbrook has been happy anywhere he's ever played in the whole entire NBA career. It wasn't in the Thunder, wasn't in Houston, nowhere. It wasn't in LA, Lakers, or Clippers. No, but I feel like he's happy now in Denver. This is like the one place where it seems like Russell Westbrook's actually happy is the Nuggets right now. Yeah. You have no beef with them outside of Houston. Only when they're playing the Rockets, you got a beef with them. That's right. Monique is here. Super fan Mo in the house. Good morning, Raptor Free crew. Back in the arena tonight with my new chair. Let's see what tonight brings. Go Raptors. There you go. And she's going to be wearing her Emmanuel Quickly jersey, I'll bet, too. She's going to take that nice signed, autographed number 5 red down to the arena, the one she got last year at her birthday party. Yeah, I could see her going down there in the number 5 today because we know Emmanuel's going to play. And that point guard position is going to be so important tonight with Steph Curry in the house. And Emmanuel Quickly showing signs of being a little bit more in the rhythm in the last game with his shot, taking more volume and making more points. And, well, hey, beat your counterpoint IQ. Can you outplay Steph Curry, the great Hall of Famer, a player that a lot of Raptors on our team currently look up to and idolize? No, this is very true. I know Scotty idolizes Steph Curry. Yeah, he does. He thinks he's one of the greatest, and he watches highlights of him just for fun on his off time sometimes. And, a lot of the younger guys that come up, they all look at Steph Curry as an NBA legend and hero. So there's a little bit of awness with Steph. When these young Raptors take the court, we have to remember. But hopefully they look at it this way. It's like, look, you get an opportunity to play against one of your heroes. You need to take it to him and beat him. That's what I'm saying right here. Emmanuel, you get the opportunity to face off with maybe one of the most important generational players in the history of the NBA for revolutionizing the three-point shot. Don't take this lightly. You know that all NBA games go in the history books, Scotty, Emmanuel, and RJ. So you guys need to put good history in the books. And that's why maybe if you get a win over an icon like Stephon Curry, you go in the history books a little more sweeter. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, beat your hero, beat your idol, Scott. Yeah. So yeah, Steph. Hi, I'm Scotty Barnes. I'm the future. You're the past. Get out of the way, motherfucker. Yeah, that's what I want to see tonight. Hello, be the best player on the court. One of you Raptors. I don't care which BBQ it is. It could be any of the BBQ. I hope it's Scott because I want to see Scott do it more. But if it's RJ, hey. If it's Emmanuel, okay. It's all good for me. That was so stupid what I was doing there. Mo, you get down to that arena tonight. You bring those good vibes along with your brand new spanking beautiful, beautiful chair. You get down there and you bring those good vibes and get the dub. Please, please, Monique. Help them win tonight. Please go down there and win. I want to see them beat Golden State tonight. In some ways, it's like history. Raptors can beat Golden State because we do beat Golden State. We beat them all kinds of places in our whole entire franchise history. Beating Golden State when we didn't need it. Nobody thought we would. Well, let's beat Golden State tonight when nobody thought we would once again. That's what I'm saying. Why not? Why not? I'm telling y'all. They've lost 3 out of their last 4. They've won 5 out of their last 15. Hello. Let's beat the Warriors tonight. That's right. Kaz is saying, good morning, Lex, Raptor Free Crew. Let's get this dub. Let's get this dub. Big dub, Scott. Big dubs in the chat, Scotty Barnes. Big dubs. Get them. Smooth saying, well, the Warriors are entering the transition stage of their team. Curry is 35 and Father Time is undefeated. That's right, LeBron. LeBron, you may have gotten away from me, Father Time, for the time being with your PEDs and your extra special multi-billionaire treatments, but I'll get you someday, LeBron. Father Time is after you, sir. And all the bronze sexuals get all mad and they're like, I'm going to kill Father Time. I don't know why I'm so stupid this morning. I guess it's Monday. Monday, la, 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 la. Cool Cat is in the house. Coach Cool Cat, I missed you. I hope you're doing really well. Monday morning, back at it. Let's see what Cool Cat's saying this morning. Good morning, Rapid Free Crew. In our losses, Scotty has to be dominant and the best scorer for the NBA to keep him in their focus. Yes. Has to be careful about the narrative and marketing perspective. I think this is more true than people actually realize. Cool Cat, you are going to get a dunk for this comment because it is exactly right. You know, this is the thing. These NBA players have reputations and they build up a story about who they are. And Scotty, we don't want you to build up some crazy story that you had all this potential and you just didn't fully exercise it. Seriously. Because in some ways, you got to remember, once again, you came out in one of the best draft classes in recent years. And these other guys that were kind of in contention with you around that time all flourished and they're doing better. And in some ways, their teams are doing better than your team right now. They are. Whether it's Mobley and Cleveland and the craziness that's going on with them right now. Whether it's Cade in Detroit beating our ass on Saturday night and Cade's finally looking like, in some ways he looks like a better player than you right now. He does. He looks like you may have been rookie of the year in the first year y'all played. But in some ways, if they came and did that award again, you wouldn't win it every year after that. Seriously, that's the thing that annoys me in some ways, Scott, is you can't rest on your laurels and say, oh, I won rookie of the year. I'm a rookie of the year or I'm an all-star. No, you need to understand that the next year, everybody's going to gauge you against Franz Wagner, Evan Mobley, Cade Cunningham, and Josh Giddey. You're gonna get compared to those guys for the rest of your career. And you need to understand that you're like a stock in the stock market and you go up and down with how you do. And if you don't start taking care of business a little bit better to build your story and your legend, you're going to fade out of there. And you don't want to be a Michael Carter Williams. No, you don't want to be something like that, man. I'm pleading with you, Scott. You want to build your story, your rep, your thing, like Cool Cat's saying here. Because in some ways, this is true. This is so true. They will not pay attention to us. We're in Canada. You have to excel and you have to look good. and you don't look good right now. I can't say, Scotty, in some ways, I could say, I think you can still be better than all those other guys I named. But right now, I can't say you're better than them. I can't say that right now. And I want proof and evidence from what you do on the court to have some fuel for my fire to argue that you can be better than them. But I can't say it. I can't say you're better than Cade right now. I can't say undoubtedly that you're better than Evan. And I'm not totally sure about you versus Franz anymore right now. And that's a problem, Scott. That's a problem. And if that bugs you, well, this is the kind of shit that Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant thought about all the time. You need to think about it too. You seriously do. You know, Michael Jordan was always gauging himself against people like Dominique Wilkins and Clyde Drexler and saying, you know, yeah, I have to be better than these guys. I have to look like the A+ product on the shelf, and those other guys are B or C after me. And they're just a pale in comparison to me, the number one bona fide. And that's what you have to think about, Scott. Seriously. You got to think about that. I'm serious. Yeah, Cool Cat's right. She got a dunk. Six dunks for her this year. That's right. Smooth Brown Man saying, I was watching Chev, and he was saying that Scotty has to be aggressive, show that he's an alpha. Other guys might not believe he's that guy, and he might be a +1. Yeah, I mean, I wish that he was more selfish. I think that this is an endearing and amazing quality about him as an individual in his real life, in his personal life, that he is such a giving, caring person that is absolutely putting people's feelings and people ahead of him and how he thinks about things, but not in the basketball court to an extent. I know that you've been taught ever since you were little that this is how basketball players are supposed to play, and you're exactly right. And in some ways, more players coming up should be brought up like you with that mentality of giving and sharing and trying to get everybody involved and being better. It should be more common, honestly, and you are not common for that. But unfortunately, this is a weird circumstance where that kind of mentality does not fit the skills that you physically have. And you need to be an alpha, so to speak, like Smooth saying, and just be that dude, even if your mentality is not like that and philosophy is not like that in life. It's just it's a sad juxtaposition, but true, Scott. And you're going to have to realize this. You're going to have to realize that being selfish and going and doing that aggressive stuff and wanting the ball and demanding it and being a little bit more heavy in the minutes and what you're doing out there with the ball in your hand is not selfish in itself. It's actually unselfish because you're helping them win. That's what I'm saying, Scott. If you do it, you take over, you do what we're talking about right here, Reggie's saying, you will be unselfish in being selfish. That's what I'm saying right here. I'm telling you, right there, right there. Monique's saying Father Time is catching up to Steph. So let's give a good run to Steph. They are getting younger. Hope Eugene gets some fun run. He's been recalled up. Yeah. Yeah, I thought I saw that somewhere, that it's very likely that Eugene Omoruyi might get a chance to play in his first NBA game for the Raptors on a Raptors court in a Raptors jersey. And, well, why not put out Canadian Draymond Green against Draymond Green? Why not get Eugene out there and let's see if they do the little Spider-Man? You know, yeah, we'll have to see that. I hope he does get to play, Mo. I really do. I really do hope that Omoruyi gets to play. I don't want to see him just sit on the end of the bench and not get any appearances. Not that he needs to play in the NBA, because he's played in the NBA. It's just that I want to see him get – this is why. He's a kid from around the GTA. And it's a dream, just like A.J. Lawson got to get in the game as a Raptor recently from his two-way contract. Eugene needs to get that fun, too. And he can be added to the list of Canadian players that have played for the Raptors as soon as he hits that court tonight. So that's what I'm saying. Darko, play Eugene Omoruyi. Even if you just play him for a spot shift in the second half somewhere, just make sure he gets in there and he doesn't get a DNP. How about that? Because it's 10 days. And you know what? I think he's already got 5 of them gone or something, 6 of them gone. Those 10 days are going to be up soon. So you got to get him on the court while you can right now and let him be one of the names on the list of Canadians that have suited up and played for the Raptors officially. Because in some ways, I want that list to grow and grow and grow and grow until it's a point where it's not special to look at anymore because it's so common. We got a lot of A lot of Raptors on our team that are Canadian right now, more than ever. And that's the thing. And you guys be shocked how short that list is. How many Canadians do you guys think have played for the Raptors? There's only like 12. You'd be shocked, even with all the players that we've had right now. Seriously, you'd be shocked. If you go look at that list, you'd be like, damn, Lex is right. There's only like 15 Canadian Raptors in the 30 years of the Raptors history. Isn't that crazy? You'd think there'd be way more because we've had a lot recently, but there's huge amounts of the Raptors history where we had no Canadian players anywhere. We didn't have a Canadian player on our team until Jamal McGlure, and that was like 15 years in. There was never a Canadian player from 95 until like 2010 almost. Jamal McGlure showed up. So I'm just saying, man, we want to add that number. Get Eugene out there. Get him out there. That's right. Most saying, congratulations, Chris, on being recognized by Toronto Metropolitan University for your work in the community, etc. last night. Yeah. Chris has been so benevolent with Toronto Metropolitan University specifically that they actually honored him with some honors last night. He has a scholarship there, and he's always doing stuff to help the community in all kinds of ways. The Raptors are so philanthropic, not only as an organization, but as individual players. They have a lot of different things going on all the time. Congratulations to Chris. What a great birthday week. You kick ass on the basketball court. You're 32, and you get honored for being a great humanitarian. Fantastic stuff. I love that. I love that. Seymour's here. Seymour Pay, what's up, City Slicker? Golden State is targeting Chicago big man Vucevic and Raptors Pirtle. Yeah. Let them target Pirtle. What do you got, Golden State? You got some young players that you can trade the other way. Maybe a young big man, something. You're gonna want our center. We're gonna want a center back because we ain't got no center after that. That's right. You better send us a big if you're gonna try and get Pirtle from us. That's right. Go get Vucevic. Just go deal with them. Rely on Masai. That's right. Let's see. Seymour saying Najee is an upgrade over Boucher. Only thing is Boucher has a bigger heart. That's what I'm saying, but it's still no guarantee. The other thing is we don't know if Najee will like it here. We don't know if Najee will like his teammates, and we know that about Chris. And in some ways, I would say the difference in them on play and on the court is negligible in comparison to the very vast difference the other way. And that's what I'm saying. In some ways, it's like it's sometimes not about getting the most talented, best players. It's about getting the best fit. And, Chris fits right now. And I'm not saying that Najee wouldn't. I'm just saying that I don't know. It's not enough of a needle mover for me to be like, yeah, let's do this right away. I'm not excited about it. It doesn't make me. I'm more upset about losing Chris than excited about getting Najee. How about that? Does that make sense? Yeah. Let's see. Seymour saying, "Oh no, talks about players leaving until they leave is fair." Yeah, I don't like talking about that, man. I don't like talking about that shit, man. If other content makers love reveling in that shit, but it really is true. Like what Chris said recently in the last couple of years, he said that if you tell your landlord you're planning on moving out, well, he may kick you out before you're ready to move. And that's what I don't like. That's why when fans keep saying, "Yeah, we got to trade Chris, we got to trade Jakob," I don't like them hearing that. Because think about it. How much do they degrade their effort and their feelings of going out and playing for our team and our fans when they hear our fans saying shit like this all the time? That's what I would say about that. Seriously. The only reason why I talk so much about Bruce Brown getting traded and we need to trade him is because we're supposed to. But these other guys, how often did Kyle Lowry hear Raptors fans throw him on the bus and say, "We need to trade Kyle Lowry. We need to trade Kyle Lowry." Did that waver him for playing his heart out for the Raptors and doing his best for Toronto? No, not really, but it could have. Imagine how many players come here and say, "Fuck you, Raptors fans, for saying you want me traded out of here." That's why I don't like this kind of this talk, because it's unnecessary. It's just hot air, and it doesn't add anything good to just talk about getting rid of players or having them go. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Because it's not necessary. We can say anybody could be going. It's like we could just say in general, "Oh, yeah, anybody could be going at any time." How do you like that? No, we don't want to think about that. So let's just not think about it. We'll let Masai and Bobby do their jobs, and we'll react after things happen. But speculating on this person needs to leave or get Jakob out of here, that's not helpful. It's toxic. It's toxic behavior by our fans, and I don't want to engage in it. And that's why I try not to do it. That's right. That's what I'm saying right there. That's why I try not to do it. Trevor's saying Jalen Brunson. You got to say this better, Trevor. I was like, Bronson, Action Bronson, Charles Bronson, Death Wish. Or what are you talking about, Trevor? You're talking about Jalen Brunson. And Josh Hart, okay, say RJ should be all-star. Yeah, an all-star. Yeah, they said that on their podcast a couple of days ago, talking about playing RJ a few times in recent times and thinking that, RJ could be an all-star. And you know what? They're friends. I love that they're doing that and putting that out there, especially from their audience, because they have a more mainstream U.S. audience, and them giving shine to RJ, maybe he'll get more notice. And maybe there will be some all-star votes for RJ this year. And who knows? Who knows? Mess around. Maybe you're the one on the team. I don't know. It's bleak. It's not bleak. It's not totally clear which Raptor is the best all-star candidate. I mean, in some ways, Scotty's the one they're promoting harder. But if you could really make a case that this season that RJ Barrett was the more deserving person of being an all-star, you could make a case for that. If you look at the stats and stuff like that. Once again, we're up against a wall on that one as far as our record's horrible. And a lot of people are going to say a team like ours doesn't deserve a single all-star. And that's probably true. It's probably true, actually. Yeah. Let's see. Excuse me. I'm going to take a water break for a second. Seymour saying Kings have won 7 straight since the dumping of Coach Brown. So I guess all the trade talk is over. Fox is being put aside. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not really that interested in King stuff, but yeah. Yeah. Stargate saying, Trevor J, I see you watch Chev's last video about Scotty. Is he saying some talking points from Chev's video? Good stuff. Good stuff. Smooth saying it's Seymour. If Golden State really wants Vooch, really easy trade. Dennis Schroeder and Kevon Looney for Nikola Vucevic. I guess that trade's fair. But man, I once again, I feel so sad for Ellen Schroeder. If you're going to do that, make that woman move across the country like every which way, every 3 or 4 months. It's just not right, man. It's just not right. Stop making Amalia and them travel all over the country and they move their toys all over the United States. Poor Schroeder family. Come on, man. Oh, let's see. Smooth saying works for the Bulls, works for the Warriors. Dennis can't be traded until February 4th. Thank God, man. Dennis, you might want to think about a no trade clause in your next contract because, man, you're just getting, it's too bad, man. I feel bad for Dennis Schroeder. I really do. Cool Cat saying, Lex, Siakam got slammed by fans even before his rookie contract was completed and new contract money started. So Scotty is the face, so he gets the heat regardless who is currently the highest paid. No, I know. That's not what I was bringing that up. I brought that up because Trevor said that Scotty makes the biggest bucks on the team. It wasn't. That's the only reason why I brought that up about who gets paid what. Is because Trevor said, "Oh, Scotty's got to perform and do what he does because he's the highest. He gets the big bucks." I said, "Well, actually, if you look at it, Scotty's not one of the higher paid players on the Raptors right now." That was what my point is. I said, "Well, it's not really from that aspect I was talking. I mean, all players are over scrutinized. You're in the NBA, you're getting looked at, and you're getting talked about. All players, all the way down to the very smallest level, like people like Kennedy Chandler and stuff like that. They're getting scrutinized. G League guys, yeah." All players are getting scrutinized. And I mean, the thing with Siakam, you're talking about a period of time with Siakam. I don't remember fans being unnecessarily mean to Siakam anytime when he was early in his career because he was nobody. And then he got real big. It wasn't, you can't say this about Siakam. He didn't start getting the major criticism until after the championship. And probably he didn't get criticism until the bubble. Let's just put it that way. The performance in the bubble is when everything started with Siakam getting crap. He was a very popular player that was off the radar and nobody was really kind of centering on or talking about too much. He was in the shadow of Kawhi in the championship year. He was playing really good the next year. Then we got the pandemic and then he had a really bad playoffs. And that is when people started slamming him like crazy and started like talking more about him. It wasn't before that. In some ways, there was no extra notable noise about Pascal Siakam in any kind of way other than positive.
because of his contributions to the championship and his G League stuff, and also most improved players, stuff like that. So I don't remember this. It was after the bubble that he started getting more criticism. Let's see. Seymour saying Najee Marshall is not him. James Najee is a different person. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm confused here. There's two players that have that word Najee in their name. And the one in New Orleans is the one I know better. And he's the one I think is better than between the two Najees. James Najee, Najee Marshall. That's why I'm getting mixed up here, and I can't totally tell you how I feel about this guy. That's right. Yeah. The Najee Marshall is the 4. In Denver is a 4/5. Dallas has Najee at the 3. Okay. Yeah, it's confusing. This is just like Jalen Williams, kind of confusing right here. That's right. Interesting, Smooth Brown Man. Interesting. Trevor's saying Russell Westbrook fits really well with Denver and playing very well. Yeah, I've seen that, Trevor. And he's happy. And it's weird to have so many cumulative triple doubles on one team. Like, that team is the team that has the most triple doubles ever in the history of the NBA, consolidated on one team, just because of Nikola and Russell. That these guys are triple double machines, and they've got huge amounts of them. And they're on the same team right now, which is kind of cool. Cool Cat saying, I would like us to look at Detroit. I would like us to look like Detroit, where they were losing a lot but still competitive and played with aggression the entire game. Westbrook is being respected in Denver. Happy for him. Yeah, I think the fan base likes him. His teammates like him. They respect him for where he comes from with his long career. And, maybe the personalities on that team are more fun. It's probably a lot more fun for him to play alongside Nikola Jokic than LeBron James in certain ways. And that may be part of it too. So, yeah, good. Yeah, it's very interesting. I would like us to be similar to Detroit and what's happened recently. That's the crazy thing, y'all. You got to understand, a lot of these teams that are getting good all of a sudden right now, like Orlando and Cleveland and Thunder and Detroit, they really were these teams in the last few years where we were saying, yeah, they're about to get better, remember? Because they had young cores, and we're saying, I could see Orlando making a leap next year. I can see the Thunder making a leap next year. Well, this is happening now. And what we need to do is go through the early stuff where it's confusing and tough and not totally easy. And then, we'll start getting buzz around us, like them, saying, the Raptors nucleus and the way they're starting to work is actually working a little bit better than they did the first year of their rebuild. And I could see them really being better next year. That's the process of rebuilding. And that's the process that we want to go through. And in some ways, our rivals, the teams that we play, are showing us the path. And Detroit is a good example. And so is Orlando and Cleveland. So, yeah, we want to play really well and then turn the corner and start making huge strides up the standings. That's what we want. That's right. Smooth saying that Trevor, Westbrook is filling the role Bruce Brown had with them. There you go. And he's probably scoring a bit more than he does. Maybe not. Some more saying Cade in Detroit, Mobley in Cleveland, Suggs in Orlando, Green in Houston, all up on Scotty. Time will tell. Let's go, Scotty. No, I wouldn't put those last two up over him. No. There's tiers to this, Seymour. I would say top tier for that rookie class is Scotty, Cade, Evan, and Franz. And Josh is the fifth one, Josh Giddey. And then Suggs and Green are on another level underneath. No, Jalen Green is not a good NBA player, guys. He's a very good scorer. He's a flashy athlete. He's on the scale of Scoot Henderson to me, that he's not a fundamentally good player. And I will not give him any kind of respect, put him on the same level of Franz, Evan, and Scotty. No. And Suggs, come on, man. Seriously, listen to yourself when you said that. Seriously, Jalen Suggs is not over Scotty, and he never, ever will be. So, yeah, he's even in a tier below Jalen Green. So, yeah, don't put those two names in there. No. No, you need to put Wagner and Giddey in there before you put those two names. Stargate saying, just to play devil's advocate on the Scotty thing, isn't the coach and the staff responsible for running plays? Maybe he's not being coached to be more of an alpha dog, right? This is an interesting question, because we often talk about who has more control in determining the plays and who gets the ball and what's happening on the court, the players or the coaches. And we found, with the Nick Nurse years, that a lot of it was the players.
A lot of it was the players, but there were some guidelines. The coaches had some parameters that they have to do, and the players just kind of fill in the blanks for Nick. Nick looked at basketball like jazz, and he wanted the players to be artistic and interpretive, and maybe a little improvisational. Now, Darko, he's had a very set kind of system and rules and parameters that they have to play within. And it's kind of like I've used the analogy of the Plinko game on Price is Right. There's a little bit of like you go through the system of his ideas with the way they pass and they cut and they move around. And depending on how the defense reacts, the Plinko chip will go in different directions through there. And that's really kind of how they decide who gets to shoot. Like if it's Grady or Emmanuel or stuff, it's who gets the clean open shot because the defense is away from that spot. And it's really opportunity. Now, with that in mind, you think in theory that Grady and Scotty, if they're getting extra attention and people are really, really bugging them, it may be harder for their Plinko chip to fall in their spot at the bottom of the game. Does that make sense? That's part of it right there. Now, I will say also on this comment, Stargate, I feel like Scotty has never really shown, whether it's been with Nick or Darko, the impetus to be that alpha and play like that. So I'm going to say it's not the coaches. I'm going to say that it's Scotty's personality that I described earlier, and that the coaches are dying for him to go above and beyond and be like what you're saying. They're not holding him back. They want him to go crazy. They want him to get to the next level. So it's not them. I'm pretty sure it's Scott's personality that is in this situation that we're talking right now. So does that make sense? Because the control group is, well, Nick Nurse. How was it with Nick? And even though he's a younger player, did we ever see those flashes of like that kind of stuff? At times, but in little bursts, but not really in a consistent way in the way we thought. Now, Darko, it's progressing, but it's still not the same kind of thing. So you can kind of figure out that it is probably Scotty's personality. It's less the coaches, is what I'll say on that one. Seymour saying Najee has played under Jokic for 3 or more seasons and has learned under him. Bring him in. Trust me, if you can get him, just my opinion, but I rely on Masai. Well, we'll just have to see. Y'all are the smoke. And if sometimes there's a fire when there's smoke, and you guys are bringing me rumors, stuff that I'm not trying to pay attention to, but I figure if it filters through and you guys bring it to me, it must be something that's somewhat tangible or real. And yeah, if there's a little bit of smoke, maybe there is fire. I don't know, but I'll rely on Masai either way to make that call and Bobby to pull the trigger. And I won't be mad either way. I'm not going to have the expectation that this is going to happen. And I'm not going to have an expectation that it doesn't either, because it could. So you got to be both ways on that. Yeah. Stargate said, I mean, Darko has always preached the philosophy of sharing the ball and getting everyone involved, right? Maybe Scotty wants to be, but he is not in the position to be right now. No, I don't think that is it, man. Listen, Scotty, let's not get it twisted. Scotty can call for the ball. Scotty's calling for screens. He could definitely call for the ball. So this is not what it is. It's not that Darko's starving him or not giving him the opportunities. In some ways, Scotty's got to understand the ball's sitting on the counter, and he needs to go just grab it and go take it. In some ways, that's part of the problem. It's not clicking in Scotty's head that he has these powers and that he can do more. It's coming to him slowly but surely, but he's getting there. He's going to get there eventually. So I don't think it's the coach. I really don't think it's the coach, Stargate. I think it's a psychological thing with Scott for being a giver and a sharer and a team guy that he has to get over if he wants to really become this dominant scorer in the NBA that he could possibly be. I think it's that, man. I think it's that. Most saying Shaq meets Oliver Ryu. The picture is hilarious. This is funny. This is good non-Raptor news that I love to hear. Goofy stuff like this. Yeah, 7'9" Oliver Ryu of the Florida Gators. Recently met former LSU player Shaquille O'Neal in person, and he made Shaq look like a little kid. That's so weird, man. You know, you're a big person when you make Shaq look little. You know, you're a very big person if you make Shaq look little. There are not very many people that do that. Now, Oliver is not the most filled out guy, but he's definitely got height on Shaquille O'Neal. Yeah, that's Team Canada right there. Oliver Ryu, 7'9", coming down the pipeline for old Maple Leaf national team coming up, man. I'm telling you, he's coming. He's coming. Let's go. Let's go. Seymour saying that needs to be a skit. Shaq looks spooked. You think they should put that on Saturday Night Live?
do a little funny thing about a very huge, tall French Canadian lurking around with Shaq. That'd be funny. Stargate said, I think people should cut Scotty some slack this season under Darko. I think folks are overanalyzing him right now in this current Raptors scenario. Well, he's going to get that. He's the focal point. He's the franchise face, and that's just part of the burden that he has to carry. I think that, we here on this channel try to constructively criticize him. I'll go at Scott and say things and say, this guy do this, do that, do this. But it's usually always with the best intentions to get the best place for him in his career. And it's not usually just a denigrator. You work anger out on him. That's the thing. That's the problem with a lot of toxic Raptors fan people, is that they're working their own anger out in their content or their comments or their opinions. That it doesn't even have anything to do with the team. It's a reflection of their own misery in their own lives, and they just need an outlet. It's half the time with some of these Raptors fans that are so miserable and toxic and so negative. That's why I say sometimes if you tell me how you feel about our team, it tells you a lot about how you feel about yourself. And I think that that's part of the problem right there, is that they're going to overanalyze Scott. They're going to be toxic because they're miserable fucks themselves. Does that make sense? Because I think that's why. Scotty's used to it. He doesn't care. In some ways, he understands. He's in his own world, and he has his own things he works on, and he's had success doing it that way. And in some ways, there's so many nobodies out there saying all this stuff. He doesn't hear any of it. He doesn't care. He's doing things the right way. He knows the project with Darko, and he's on his path. And he's going to get there. I believe in him, and I know he's going to get there in the end. Some people over scrutinizing him, thinking, "Oh, Scotty's not going to be this. He's not that. He doesn't have it." Giovanni, yeah, you guys are wrong, because I know Scotty has it. I know deep in my heart, and I know we're going to see it more and more in the next couple of years. And when it happens, people are going to need to realize that didn't trust in Scotty. That it's the same thing like trust in Masai. You need to trust in Scotty. That's what I'm going to say right there. Yeah. Yeah, Cool Cat's saying Scotty is a pass-first player, especially from a point guard perspective. However, as a franchise player, you have to play with the mojo that a franchise player has to lead in everything, win-loss. It's your record. Yeah, he's a reflection on you. And if you want that, you can let your teammates do it and rely on them. If they're high enough talent and they're good enough, well, they may carry you, Scott. And that may be part of the actual plan that's going on with us because of the other two parts of barbecue. That, Scotty, in certain ways can't maybe do exactly what Cool Cat's saying here. And that's why RJ and Emmanuel need to be there with him, because they can kind of cover up the areas that he isn't doing exactly right as far as being a franchise player that takes over and does stuff. I don't know if he'll go even further than this. But you're exactly right. He is a point guard perspective pass first player. And that's been a problem because he wants everybody to feast. In some ways, that's a really good trait and the way you should train all young people. But at this point, it's kind of like getting in the way of his further development in the NBA. So he needs to get rid of that mentality a bit, is what I'm saying. Yeah. Cool Cat's saying if Golden State Warriors want Pirtle, then we want Trace Jackson in return, their young rookie center. Yeah. Fair enough. Exactly. I'm with you. That's a GM's kind of mentality. I like that. Coach, you're now the GM Cool Cat. I'm all about that. That's tough hardlining, and I like that. I like that a lot. Trevor's saying NBA TV broadcasters say if you want to watch real basketball, take a look at SGA's game. Yeah, it's very smooth. It's very awesome. The word Jordan-esque gets thrown around, but there's a lot of Jordan-esque in SGA's game that's beautiful and very graceful. And pleasant to watch, because it's not something it's something very, very few people in this earth have ever been able to do. And that's very special. Very, very special. All right, Trevor's giving me my cues, producer cues. Let's do the Instagram stories real quick. We'll start out. Raptors official admin has got a Subway contest. This contest is the bomb. So Raptors have a contest with Subway. So go check it out. Enter now. You can get in there. There's a game day, 7:30 p.m. tonight, Scotiabank Arena. Golden State Warriors. Let's beat them. Toronto Tempo have a countdown going down on their Instagram stories right now for the merch drop. That's right. Tomorrow, guys. Apparently tomorrow, they're going to have the first piece of Toronto Tempo merchandise available to buy. And you want to get a piece of history.
You want to get the very first ever Toronto Tempo shirt, the very first ever Toronto Tempo hat, the very first Toronto Tempo hoodie. I don't know what they're going to be selling exactly, but they're going to have the very first Toronto Tempo merchandise dropping tomorrow. So get on it if you want to have a piece of history of the very, very first thing that the Toronto Tempos put out for their entire franchise ever. You're going to buy it up like crazy, and they're going to be like, I want to have this collector's item because in like 30 years, when they do the 30th anniversary of the Tempo, I'll have my cool original Toronto Tempo t-shirt. Doesn't that sound awesome? Teresa, I'm helping you here. I'm trying to help you here. I mean, it's true. You want to get that original. There's Emmanuel Quickly with a picture of him on the New York center court from the game the other night. There you go. He said, got a picture of him in New York City. Kelly Olynyk, why do you do this to me? Kelly Olynyk, always going out to fancy restaurants. He's in Toronto somewhere with a fish head on his plate. Fish heads, roly, roly fish heads, eat them up, yum. I once took a fish head to the theater. I didn't have to pay to get him in. Fish heads. If you know that old classic, you're a real one, is what I'm going to say. Barnes and Barnes. That's right. Not Scotty Barnes and Barnes. That's right. Yeah, he's got a fish head, and he's eating some raw fish on a plate somewhere. It's not as appealing as some of the stuff. I know the layout looks cool with the little rosette lime and orange there, Kelly, but the fish head's kind of gross. And so is the food. This raw fish. It looks really gross, Kelly. It doesn't look as appetizing as you think, just so you know, to some of us. Now, the next pick, okay, this one's a little bit better. It's like celery stalks with like little dollops of sauce. And there's some crab. Oh, scallops. Those are scallops. So it looks like some crazy seafood that Kelly was eating last night. Some fancy restaurant. Always taking Instagram pictures of his food. Kelly Olynyk. You making me hungry with your scallops, eating your scallops last night. And there's a big old lobster. Look at that lobster. It's like the 905 this weekend, eating Maine lobster. Green lobster. They talk about the miraculous, very rare blue lobster that the lobstermen catch sometimes. Well, ooh, you ever seen a green lobster? Yeah, it resides in Maine and plays for the Celtics. And it got its butt kicked 2 days in a row this weekend by the Raptors G League team. Grady Dick's got his stat line from the other day in the game against Detroit up on his, and there's a picture of him shooting his shot. Brendan Carlson in action on his Instagram for the Thunder against the Washington Wizards. He got in the game the other day, so he was actually in the NBA game. There's Slim Duck as a baby with his mom in a picture on his Instagram. Chris Boucher, such a cute little baby with his mother on his birthday weekend. There he is getting honored at Metropolitan University of Toronto. Fantastic stuff. And there he is with some fans afterwards. Jacoby Walter with a funny picture. Jacoby did a giveaway, and he gave away a bunch of toys and stuff over Christmas. He said when you have a lot, there's a lot more responsibility to give, is basically what Jacoby's philosophy is. And he got a big, huge first-year rookie contract. And, he's giving back to the community. He had some families come in, and he fed them, and he gave them a bunch of gifts and stuff. So that's pretty awesome, Jacoby Walter, being an awesome philanthropist, just like Chris Boucher, his teammate. That's right. Yeah, he gave out a bunch of presents to these families and stuff. So cool to see Jacoby do that for families in the area, in the community. That's right. Let me see. Are there any more? Matt Devlin is showing more about the life of broadcasters in the NBA. That they were just in Detroit, and apparently the Detroit facility, Little Caesars Arena, has the best meal food for the broadcasters. And that they're like, oh, we're about to hit up the best meal room in the NBA in Detroit. And they got Kayla and Matt and Jack like getting all crazy with their carnal desires to eat. About a pig out? You can go in there and get that food in Detroit because it's good, apparently. They're hyping about it. All of them putting it on their Instagram. Davion Mitchell coming in the game with his fit on his Instagram. And there he is doing the too small to the Cleveland Cavaliers the other night, which is, I don't know, Davion, do you deserve to do that right now? I don't know. He's got Deion Sanders on his Instagram talking in a podcast or some. Deion, the former Florida State Seminole.
And yeah, he's got his sneakers on blast too. He had some, they look like Denver colors, the sneakers he had on against Cleveland. And they showed Sunday sneaks, and they put Davion Mitchell on blast on the NBA Sunday sneaks feature. Jamal Shed yelling at Sayesh Mehta in the New York game, or no, Detroit game the other night. AJ Lawson has got a picture of him spinning the ball on his finger. And the Raptors 905 want to remind you to keep voting for the up next game and vote for the Raptors 905 in the G League All-Star game. That's the Instagram stories for today. Kelly's eating fish heads, roly-poly fish heads, fish heads. Reggie's saying, can't get behind Jakob, man. He's untradeable to me. His value is critically important to the team. I agree. I mean, that's the thing. If you're going to get rid of him, you better have something just as good coming or close that's coming down this pipe soon, but is for sure. Because like I said, he's a bird in the hand. Those two in the bush may not be worth that bird in the hand. And Jakob is in our team. He's working well. Everything's fine. And trading him to get a prospect, even if Davis from the Warriors, it doesn't guarantee that this is the right fit for that guy. I know what we got with Yak. That's what I'm saying. I'm totally with Smooth on this. I think he's untradeable too, even though Raptors Nation, a lot of people want to trade Jakob, and they talk about it every day. And that's that toxic noise that I hate, that I talked about 10 minutes ago. That's right. Cool Cat saying, Lex, the bubble Siakam was still on his rookie contract. Are you sure about that? You sure about that? That seems crazy. I mean, he might have been. I'm not going to argue with you, but I mean, I really do parse out Siakam's career maybe different than you. That like they're very much as G League early Siakam that wasn't on the radar, wasn't supposed to be anything, was looking like he was going to be a bench rotation player as a rebounder defender and had no offensive aspect. You know, I look at that era of Siakam's career. He was just a court runner and doing all that kind of stuff. And then he really matured like in the year we won the championship. He really made that level of becoming a scorer then. So I can't get behind this. Like maybe it's just wording and semantics that we're not totally seeing the same perspective. Because I mean, there's a very clear part of Siakam's early career. This is rookie years, and I don't include even if it's his contract. And that's the semantics we're disagreeing on. Is that once he was the player he was for us the championship year, he graduated to a new thing, and it's a totally different kind of thing and scrutiny after that. And the success brought that is what it is. He may have still been under his rookie contract, but I guess we look at his career in different sections. And I look at G League Siakam and like early Siakam as a totally different person than the Siakam afterwards for sure. And he was not really on the radar for getting overly scrutinized until the bubble. You know that's true. You know that's absolutely true what I'm saying. Now, it may be true what you're saying that he was still technically on the very end of his rookie contract, but he was already arrived as a player that is important. And that's the difference right there. Most saying SGA becomes the third Canadian to surpass 1,000 points. That sounds weird. What do you mean, 1,000? That's nothing. No, there's been more people that done that. You meant 10,000, don't you? Yeah, it can't be just 1,000, Monique. There's Canadian players that score 1,000 points in just a season. So that's got to be 10,000. That can't be 1,000. You're missing a zero, Mo. You're missing a zero. Let's see. All right. Aiden Jakob. Yeah, he ain't about it. I ain't either. Stargate saying SGA is a joy to watch. I love how he does not force threes and is not afraid to be a mid-range scorer. Yeah. Yeah, I like all that about him, man. In some ways, I should watch Oklahoma more because just because of him. But I like watching Team Canada with him. That's right. That's right. Cool Cat saying, I hope SGA gets his MVP this year. He has been robbed. He was robbed last year. Yeah, I would agree with that. I thought he was robbed last year. And hopefully he will win it this year. We'll have to see. Sometimes the pattern with winning MVP is you got to just miss on it. And if you have the excellence again the very next year, you get it the next year. Like that's kind of what happened with Embiid. The stupidness of Embiid winning the MVP that one year was like he kind of deserved it more the year before, and he missed out on it. And so he got like a consolation prize MVP the next year. Now, SGA, he deserved it last year. If he gets it this year, he deserves it. It's not going to be a consolation like Embiid won his MVP in recent years. That's the weird thing right there. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Yeah. Seymour saying, I hope I can get that tempo gear out west in Alberta. Well, jump online and get it there. You know, it's all going to be online. So, yeah, I mean, you have an easier chance than ever right now than in the past when it may be more centrally geographically focused in Toronto, that they're going to sell it all here and hard to get in other parts of Canada. So having an online store will help with this. So I'm sure you can. You should rock it. City Slicker, you should rock it. That's right. Most saying, I got my Subway card at the Raptors game, but never go eat. I just do it for Scotty. That's a real one right there. I'm going to give Mo a dunk for just doing the Subway program just for Scotty. And it's not even for her own eating needs. She's just doing it because she loves Scotty. And I love that. Mo, you're going to get another dunk. You're like the dunk leader this year so far. You got 15 points for 5 dunks so far this season. Really off to a fast start. You're playing like Chris Boucher right now. Let's see. Cool Cat saying, when Detroit were rebuilding under Casey, they kept losing all the time, but they played hard competitively. We need a pound the rock mentality. Think Adrian Griffin might return to the Raptors? I'm not doing this, Cool Cat. I'm sick of this. People throwing Darko in the bus don't understand that he's doing exactly what Casey would do right now. There's a pound the rock mentality with our team right now. Seriously. Like, I've talked about this very extensively in the last week. It's about, like, all right, we're going to lose either way. And we're trying to continue to keep them together, happy, and kind of like not jaded, and also not turning on each other, and also still believing in Coach Darko. These are the main objectives right now. It's not necessarily closing games out and winning. It's about keeping together in the very tough, difficult times. And Coach Darko's doing an A-plus job. I'm so sick of people throwing him under the bus and saying, oh, we should go get Adrian Griffin. I don't know if Adrian Griffin would do a better job than Darko. I don't think he would, honestly. Because in some ways, the thing that has to be coming from the Raptors coach right now is a people person that's engaged and involved with every single person involved in the team. And in some ways, Adrian Griffin did not show that he has that power as a head coach, because look at what happened to him on a winning team in Milwaukee. So I'm just saying, Darko's a connector. Darko may not be winning games right now, and people are getting impatient and wanting to throw him under the bus like Cool Cat is here. But you have to understand that he is doing an A-plus job because he's checking off the boxes that I just named. And those are so hard in this situation. And I don't see any difference in some ways what Dwayne did with Detroit and what he did with Toronto and what Darko's doing for us right now. Seriously, it's going to happen. The pound the rock is happening. It's just called something else, and Darko is in charge of it. So yeah, I'm not about this, man. I don't want Adrian Griffin to be the head coach of the Raptors ever, because in some ways his name's tainted in this league now, and he knows that. In some ways, he probably will never, ever get a head coaching job in the league ever again, and it's the Bucks' fault. It's not his fault. It's the Bucks' fault. But I don't see Griffin coaching the Raptors. Seriously, I don't. I don't see him ever coming back, because he spent a lot of time here already. He did not, he did not come our next coach. He went to Milwaukee. And, well, even though he wasn't a failure, he got busted out of the league. And honestly, I don't see him coming back to the NBA ever again. I think his son is just like showing the signs, because he just retired out of the league and he doesn't even want to be in the league because he's probably pissed because of how his dad got treated. So the Griffin family is probably not on standings with the NBA even right now, is what I say right now. You gonna see Adrian Griffin get picked up by another team and coach? Probably not. Probably not. And that's sad. That's just how it is. You're more likely to see Adrian Griffin coach in college in the next job that he has. Seriously. Smooth saying Toronto Metropolitan University. That was Ryerson, right? Yes. Yes, they renamed Ryerson Toronto Metropolitan University, and rightfully so, in my opinion. Yeah. Stargate saying Davion dresses like a skateboarder. He does. He does. Stargate, I'm going to give you a dunk for a weird, random, just out of the blue kind of thing. I think that Jacoby does too, in a little bit of kind of ways. Jacoby kind of looks like a skateboarder in some ways. I don't know. Maybe I'm showing that I'm really not that cool by saying stuff like that. That's Stargate. I'm going to give you your third dunk. You're at 9 for saying that Davion dresses like a skateboarder. Most saying limit comments for Lex, W Stream, W Vibes. I appreciate y'all. We're still not doing the timeout on the comments. So, and things have been pretty smooth. The times have still been pretty good. So I'm continue to not put the timeout on the comments. Just be respectful and limit your comments to just the necessary, is what I'm saying. That some of the unnecessary is fun too, to an extent, but don't overdo it, is what I'm saying. Go Raptors for life. Keep at it always, Lex. Raptor Free Crew strong forever. And you keep going to the games, Mo. Thank you for being there and representing our vibe on the scene. And yeah, I appreciate you so much, Mo. And boy, you've gone to so many games this year. What a grind that Monique Lawrence has as being a super fan for the Toronto Raptors. Always grinding is what Monique is doing. And she's going to get to come down there and show off her new chair to her good friends down at the Air Canada Center / Scotiabank Arena. That's right. I love it. Randolph's here. Let's get our blessings from Randolph Phillips real quick. Game day blessings, beloved Raptor Freaks, most informative gang. The plans and preparation made for you today, you must not miss. Make the best of every moment. Boom goes the dynamite. Thank you, Randolph, and blessings to Phillips family and all the Raptor Freak families out there. I appreciate you, Randolph. Yeah, Cool Cat saying perfect for us would be Scotty's skill set with RJ's mojo and mental attitude. Yeah, I'll totally agree with this, Cool Cat. That, you know, if we could get a hybrid of Scotty and RJ, a little bit of the two kind of mentalities together, that's why I think it's really important that Scotty plays with RJ for a long time, is because they're going to rub off on each other. And they both have qualities that will help each other become more complete players. And if RJ's mentality and he can show in games like the ability to do some of the stuff we want Scotty to do, and it rubs off on him, are we going to be upset? No, that's why I think Scotty and RJ are a powerful combo from Mount Verde from back in the day. And that these guys, you know, I know they didn't play together on there and they were more rivals when they were younger, but these guys have a vibe to them that really brings better stuff out of each other. They really do. And it's like, it's just, it's very easy to see when they're out there playing together. And it's because they're both very unselfish players, but very high talent players. And, you know, RJ could be better for defense and different things because Scotty rubs off on him. So there's a lot of, you're right. That hybrid would be amazing, Cool Cat. If we could get RJ's ball into the basket kind of mentality and that aggressiveness and that force with Scott. Yeah. Wow. Thank you for the cutoff, Cool Cat. Yeah. And Seymour saying, did I miss the classic card? No, you didn't. We're going to do it in just a sec. I wanted to get to the end of the chat, and we'll do it right at the end here. The Smooth saying, yeah, Darko's following the front office directives. He's working in lockstep with Masai and Bobby. Yeah, that's why we can't solely give rotational grief to Darko, because he does have stipulations coming from the front office about some players that he has to play. And Bruce is one of them for sure. Most saying, for me, Darko needs to just work on his rotations. Calm down, Cool Cat. I know. And Monique, when you go to the arena tonight and you see Jennifer, please tell her to stop saying we need to fire Darko and that we need to hire Mike Brown, because I totally disagree with her in that. She said that to me the other day in a message. And I'm like, I'm not with you on this, Jennifer. You're awesome Raptors fan, and you're awesome for being an usher at the arena. But, man, stop saying that we should fire Darko to hire Mike Brown. I'm serious, because, seriously, you see the difference with what's happening in Sacramento with Doug Christie now. So, yeah, if you do see her, you say, no, we don't want Mike Brown. Tell her that, please. Tell her that we want Darko. He's our guy, and Mike Brown's not the answer if you do see Jennifer tonight, which I know you will. Cass saying, you did miss the classic card, Seymour, unless I missed it too. No classic card yet. It's coming. Seymour saying, Paul George calls out Nick Nurse, calls his schemes boring. Laugh out loud. Oh, I knew it. You know, Nick was on our team for so long, in 10 years, 5 as an assistant, 5 as a head coach. And he was a terrorist to a lot of teams in the league, and he has a notoriousness to him. And in some ways, a lot of people thought he was an asshole before they played for him. Some of them respected him as a coach and being tough, but a lot of people don't like him on the down low. And that's the thing. Like, one of the weird things that happened was when Philadelphia hired Nick was the James Harden situation. And James Harden and Nick were never, ever going to be able to coexist in Philadelphia. And that's why something had to happen with James. Because they just hired Nick. It's not like they're going to strong arm Nick out right away just for James's whims. No, Daryl Morey had his man. And he wanted him back. So he had to trade James Harden and get him the hell out of here in Clippers. Now, you know, James played with Paul George for a little while in the Clippers after that. And I'm sure he, you know, because this is the thing. There's a history to this. Nick Nurse, went to Hungary. He went to Hungary like a couple summers ago. I covered this on this channel. You can go find the stream. Look it up. Nick Nurse teaching basketball coaches in Hungary. Well, Nick, being in another country and talking to other people that don't speak English, he thought he could get away with saying some stuff at that coaches conference he probably shouldn't have said. And one of them was he bashed James Harden unnecessarily. He went off on him at this coaches summit. And I was like, wow, he really went in on James. And I'm like, dude, he doesn't like James Harden. And obviously James Harden didn't like him either. And that's why he went to LA. So I don't know. Harden go sit and talk to Paul George about his opinions around the league and stuff. You maybe talk to Paul George about Nick Nurse. And maybe there wasn't a whole lot. I mean, Paul George just wanted to get out of the Clippers. And he went to the team that could take him, even if it wasn't ideal totally with the coach. But wow, I could see this. Like, I could tell there's a rift on the Sixers, and it has to do with Paul George. And in some ways, Kyle Lowry doesn't like Paul George because he doesn't respect Nick Nurse like he should. And that's part of the rift also, is that there's very senior players on the Sixers that do not get along because in some ways, Paul George is Paul George, and we know who Paul George is in some ways. Yeah. You hang around with Kawhi too long in the Clippers and you get DMPs for too long. Yeah. You're not having that same competitive edge that Nick Nurse wants you to have. And Kyle Lowry values it keeps him in the league. So there's definitely some philosophical differences between Paul George and his coach and probably the GOAT on that team in the middle of it all. And Tyrese Maxey is just like, what the fuck am I going through here in Philadelphia? And somebody's I was like, I like being a Sixer, but man, this place is dysfunctional with all this crazy ass shit, James Harden and all this other crazy shit, Ben Simmons. Like, what is this place? Joel, what the fuck, man? This place is fucked up. You're part of it too. Maxey's dealing with dysfunction in Philadelphia, that's for sure. Mischief saying, I found another stretch big in the second round. 19-year-old, 6'11" Bobojob Markovic, 39.5% from three, and good rebounder and good free throw shooter, 78.9% free throw shooter. Mischief, I am going to do a scout tomorrow because I'm doing them only on even days right now. So tomorrow, bring me a name and I'll go look at it. If you get in there before Nako, he's been kind of stealing them right then. Yeah, the card's coming very soon, guys. Hang on. Cool. Mischief bringing us more draft info. This guy's going deep. Like, he's got diaper dandies. It's like Fran Fraschilla, Jay Billis kind of stuff here. Yeah, hell no to Mike Brown. Yeah, the whole idea of like that being an upgrade for us is ridiculously stupid. And I don't want to be mean to Jennifer, but it's just not a smart idea in any kind of way. Because once again, Mike Brown's a retread. He's had his best success when LeBron's around him, right? He's had his best success when LeBron's around him. What does that say about him? In some ways, he can go to certain places. Sure, Sacramento is very successful in recent years, but not to the level that he was with LeBron winning championship. So, man, I think that people just think the name and they see maybe winning percentage on their name from over their career, and they're just like, they think it all adds up that way. Once again, we are in a very special situation, and Darko is the best person to babysit it. Just trust me on this. No coach is going to win with the Raptors right now. And you want the best coach that's nurturing and keeping the connections very positive and strong among everybody. That's what I would say to that. That's right. And thank you, Cool Cat, for another cutoff. Seymour saying Norman Powell and Paul George have beef. Norm made a T-shirt that reads "Strength and Subtraction." It's Norm's team now, next to the claw. That's awesome and hilarious. Yeah, I can see, man, there's all kinds of little underlying beefs in the league that aren't public because these guys are smart. They don't want the media storm, but there are things that aren't spoken and known and they come out. And maybe that is a little jab. I did hear about Norman wearing that shirt, addition by subtraction. Yeah. I mean, I see this all over the league all the time, though, and it's often players like Paul George. You get rid of them and the team gets better all of a sudden. That's because high volume players that aren't good efficiently are the worst for teams. John Wall and Bradley Beal were two of the worst ones, and that's why the Wizards were so bad for so long, is because they're very high volume, but they're not efficient scorers. They're going to take a bunch of shots and shoot 30%. And, well, players are like that. Paul George is one of those kind of players. In some ways, that's, Norman's right. Norman's an efficient player, Paul George is not. But even though people love him, they love him though. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Starting saying, Nako, make sure you give Lex Casperus to scout tomorrow. I don't know if Nako's here right now. Who knows who I'll get? I'll get a name. The first one I see, I'll go through there and get it. It could be Ace Bailey. We do need to do Ace Bailey still. I've done most of the top draft picks now at this point. I did Cooper. I did Dylan Harper. I did Igor. And I did Fears. Those are the ones I've done so far. I've got to do the next one tomorrow. And we'll see who it is. I did Malak. Yeah. All right, there's the cutoffs again. We'll do the classic card. All right, we're doing more recent cards. These aren't as classic because these are cards that my niece and nephew gave me for Christmas just a couple weeks ago. All right, first person to write the full name answer gets the classic card points. I don't know. I think this is a 100-point card. It's not super hard. Here we go. Can you tell who that is? And can you read it in fast enough that you beat the other people on the game? So let's see. I don't know. Should I put it too close? I don't want to make it too easy. No. Walker Kessler. Boom goes the dynamite. Walker Kessler is right. It is Walker Kessler. Stargate got it? I don't know. This is not a rookie card. I don't think so. Yeah, I didn't do Ace Bailey, Cass. I did not do Ace Bailey. I don't think I did. I don't remember doing Ace Bailey. Did I do Ace Bailey and I was like, oh, he's skinnier than I thought or something like that? I don't remember doing Ace Bailey. That's not a good sign if I did him and I didn't remember him. I don't think I did do Ace Bailey because I haven't looked at him. I looked at Dylan. Let's think about it. I've done, all right, it's the second, 4th, 6th, 8th, 10th, and 12th. So I've done 6. I've done Malak. I've done Igor. I've done Jeremiah, Cooper, Dylan, and did I do Ace Bailey? Mo, do you remember me doing Ace Bailey, Scout? Because I don't remember doing. That's not a good sign if I forgot doing him. That's not a good sign. All right, Seymour is getting the classic card before Stargate with Walker Kessler. Just before Stargate, not that much before. Walker Kessler. No. Seymour Pape got back on that classic card box. Boom, and 100. David, you're lurking in here. I can see you, man. David don't want to talk in the chat. David don't want to add up the scores, but he's still in the spreadsheet hanging around. Yeah, it's all good, Dave. I hope you have a great 2025, David, no matter what. How about that? Let's see. Seymour, you got it. On my screen, you're ahead of Stargate. So Seymour Pape, Stargate, and then Bryce says Laurie Markkinen. And then Seymour says, my damn internet is trash. I'm at work. I'm going to complain to my boss. Okay, don't tell him why. Kaz saying, someone else help me out in the chat. I don't remember it. I may have done it, though. You may be right. I'm just really out of it. I did Ace? Okay, so I did do Ace. Oh, fuck. I'm going to have to do him again because I forgot him. That's not a good sign. I think what I remember is he's very tall, but he's skinny is what I said. He's very tall. He's skinny. He has a lot of skills. So yeah, I think you're right. I did do Ace Bailey. So that's the 6th person I did. All right. Either way, I'll probably have to do. I bet you I did high school highlights of him. I need to do the Rutgers highlights of him. So we'll do the top picks again closer to the draft with like revisit them. We're doing the early ones right now. Okay, so I did. I appreciate that. And Cass, thank you for bringing it up. And yeah, all right, cool. Appreciate that, guys. Salute to David. That's right. Thank you, David Saborin, Commissioner of Trivia. By title. That's right. I don't know. I mean, I hope he's either in some ways. I don't know. Either way. David, do whatever you're going to do. I can't control you. You can't control me either. So how about that? All right. Let me make sure I got all my tabs here. Happy birthday to Henry Ellison, former Raptor. He is 24. No, he's 34. 34 this year. No, he's not. He's not 34. He's I can't figure this out. He's 27. He's 27 today. 27 years old. Henry Ellenson. Very short time on the Raptors. Not a very top player. All right, let me do the rundown real quick. Golden State has a couple injuries for the game tonight. Draymond Green is questionable, but Steve Kerr expects him to play. Jonathan Kuminga, Brandon Pods, and Gary Payton II are all out. So those are the guys that are out. Kuminga, GP2, and Pods. They're the ones that are out. The Raptors have no injuries listed on the injury report at whatsoever. And there's, I believe we heard that Jonathan Mobo and Eugene Omoruyi are in Toronto, and they're not in Oklahoma today. That Eugene will be with the Raptors tonight, and Jonathan Mobo also. And meanwhile, the two ways, all three of them will be in Oklahoma City. That's Jameson, Ulrich, and AJ. So that's where people are diverted to with things. The referees for the G League game tonight. We got double duty. 9:05 at Oklahoma City Blue. Robert Hussey is the crew chief. AJ Ganelli is the referee, and Leah Laney is the umpire. For the Raptors tonight in Scotiabank Arena against the Warriors, Zach Zarba is the crew chief tonight. He favors the Warriors. Jenna Schroeder is the second ref. She favors the Warriors. And Sheree Mitchell is the third ref, and she favors the Warriors. So all three refs favor the Warriors tonight, just so y'all know. Draymond Green has gotten counseling, and he's a new, kinder, gentler Draymond Green is what they're saying right now. Also, I've got an article saying here about DeMar DeRozan on ESPN. So he's talking about how he was humbled by a tribute shown to him in his return to Chicago recently when the Kings came and played the Chicago Bulls. They did a tribute to him in Chicago. He was very touched. Now, what he said, though, is this. Toronto will always be number one, but I got to put Chicago second. It is the second city, Chicago, so that makes sense. So, Toronto, you're number one. And DeMar declared this. He didn't have to say that. That's why you know DeMar's a GOAT. He's a real one. Because in this article, he could have just said stuff like, yeah, Chicago's always been good to me. I love Chicago. But he made a point of saying in this interview, even with the diss, even with the trade just before the championship, Toronto will always be number one, but Chicago's second. Can you get mad at DeMar people for that he is unwavering loyalty and love for our city, even if we did him wrong in the end? That's amazing. Seriously, Toronto's always going to be number one. He said that in that article. He didn't have to say that in that interview. He didn't even have to bring up Toronto. Toronto's not even involved in anything with that. He said, listen, my favorite city, my number one city is Toronto, and always will be. Chicago's second. That's a real one. That is my guy, DeMar DeRozan. That's right. That's what I'm saying right there. Yeah. All right, let's see. There's some sort of dinner or something. What's going on here? That was the dinner that Jacoby did. That's what that is. I was wondering what you posted there, Trevor, in the chat. I looked at that a little bit there. Let's see. If you guys have your fantasy team, I hope you won this week, So if you got your team, you got to do what you can do and try and win this week. That's right. So set up your fantasy teams. And let's see. Is that it? Yeah, I think that's it. I'm going to wrap it up and get done for the day. All right, Raptors, to beat Golden State, a 500 team that has been winning not as much as they should, because they are 5 out of their last 15 games have won. So that's 5-10. They're a gettable team. In fact, I would say in my prediction that they're a much more gettable team for the Raptors than the Detroit Pistons were the other night. And part of it is because they're at home and not on the road like they were in Detroit. And the other one is that the Warriors, in some ways, are not trending in a winning way like the Pistons were the other day. Now, the matchup predictor is giving the Raptors a 45% chance to win tonight. The ESPN matchup predictor. So that's pretty good, eh? That's pretty damn good, right? That we have almost a 50% chance. We haven't had this kind of chance in a while. So 45% chance is the ESPN matchup predictor right now for the Raptors to win. 55% for Warriors, 45 for us. So that's a better chance than a lot of the games we've had recently. It's better than the one they gave us for Detroit. So there you go, guys. All right, thanks for watching the Raptor Freak stream today. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And join the channel if you feel like it also. There's some privileges. And yeah, they're awesome if you like them. Also, we are still planning to try and go to the 9:05 game this Sunday. So if you're in the area and you want to go to a G League game with me, I'll be there on Sunday at 2 p.m. to watch the 9:05 play the Valley Suns. And the first ever time the G League team for the Phoenix Suns shows up in our arena for the first time. They're brand new. They just started this year. So yeah, if you're interested, come join me. I'll be there. I'm pretty sure I'll be there with Adriana again around 1 o'clock, and I want to sit closer to the court this time if we can. Maybe get on the floor and sit at a table or something like that. So if somebody's interested in coming to the game with me, let me know, and we can come and we'll all go sit in the things. Let me know in the chat or in messages privately that you are intending to come. So if I don't have enough people, maybe I won't do it. But I think that if we get at least a few, I'll show up for sure. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching me today, and I'll see y'all tomorrow for the reactions to the 2 games tonight. Can we get a double W finally, Raptors? That'd be awesome. One of y'all will probably win for sure tonight, 905 or Raptors. Hopefully both of y'all can win because that'd be awesome. I'd love to see that. Peace out. Good to see you, Neil. Hopefully maybe you can come to the game on Sunday. I don't know. I don't remember. Some of you guys were saying you had some things going on, but hopefully people can come and make it to the game still. So remember, this weekend, Sunday, there's a G League game that I'm intending to attend to, and hopefully some of y'all are interested in going too. All right, y'all, let's go Raptors. Let's beat the Warriors tonight and the Oklahoma City Blue. Let's go Raptors. Let's go Raptors.